Anyways, we'll move on to our next question, which is how do you support the stuff like the hospitality sector? You know, how do you kickstart this economy that is struggling so much? What would you do? You know, you're Chancellor of the Exchequer now. We got rid of Dishy. We put you in charge. What would you do? Go.
Oh, good. That's a very, very interesting question. So, for example, first of all, the hospitality people are the one that, yes, suffered the most. There were about 71 billion, money, like furloughed for the people. I know that the money were due to be returned in around April, September this time, but I forgot the name of that lady, Annalise
Dodds.
Annalise Dodds, yes. Yep. She said that the money that were actually given for people, for small businesses, should be taken in a way as a tax from now forward as a student loan.
Oh, yeah, I covered this, yeah. Yeah, maybe it's my video you watched on this one. I don't know.
Maybe, yes, you
yeah, I think I spoke about you, actually. I think I mentioned this to you because I asked you about your input before I made the video, actually, because that's more your area of expertise than it is mine. So I think I did ask you about that, and I think that's that was a good idea that she had. You know, I gave a lot of credit for that.
No, definitely.
Because, you can't, how do you pay back a loan if you're not making any money? They're better off doing it as a tax, sort of, before corporation tax is taken. I think that actually makes a lot of sense.
No, I agree with that. But in terms for hospitality people, this was the first industry to be hit because it's a lot of customer service, face to face. I think around 27,000 restaurants, 37,000 pubs, hotels have been furloughed or closed down. For big pubs, big restaurants, they were
Greencore and the Weatherspoons.
Yeah, they were given around 9,000 per month, I think, for maintenance or something like that, while other smaller businesses were given around 4,000, I think, or even 1,300 of it for very small pubs. So try to imagine to keep from this money paying to all of your stuff.
They didn't have to pay stuff because the furlough scheme, but obviously they still had to pay rent and other things.
Yeah, so, maintain.
Yeah,
it is little.
Staff were furloughed, so it wasn't as bad. It could have been far worse. The unemployment rate would have been far higher, which is something we'll hopefully get to because we are running low on time a bit, which is my fault really. So what else would you do then?
No, but let's say most of the jobs in this industry, around 600,000 jobs have been lost. And the government said that it's about 86 billion pounds losses. So to do, one of the first issues with that is also the 0-hour contracts, which I'm not against for totally, because in a way it gives some flexibility for people, let's say, that have kids, or for people that study.
Yeah.
Gives them the opportunity to manage their time. But many of these people that have been furloughed after that in June time came back to the hospitality retail services. The company, in order to keep their profits high, costs low, 0-hour contract people were the only one of the first ones to be fired from their job place.
Yep.
And it's just terrible a bit the way that it was structured like that. But anyway, no one expected the COVID to hit so hard anyway.
Definitely not Boris Johnson.
How to change it? What can be done to change?
So what would you do if I gave you the powers, to do this? What would you do? Which changes would you make? How would you support, the economy? So you've got, a couple of different options. What are you doing?
Definitely, I would agree with the furlough scheme. That was really good from the government in a way to give some financial support to people that were not able to work. To take for other people that were, let's say, self-employed and they had the credit, to take it back now, I think it would be too soon because
what credit?
Nothing.
Universal credit.
Yes, it would be still premature because businesses are just opening. So you don't even know if they would make profit. Many people are scared to spend their money. So many people are saving their money in this way. Like one of my friends says, it's a shock for demand and supply side at the same time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've seen that 100%.
What can be done? To be honest, it is a difficult question, but possibly because we see...
That's why I didn't want to answer it. So I asked you.
No, it's good because we see that it didn't... But we had a hit like this, and hospitality and customer-facing jobs were the first ones to be hit. You need to give a bit more security about these jobs, maybe not make them so many, have maybe full-time contracts, and work on an affordable scale. And secondly, a lot of people would be retrained. So why not to concentrate in some industries that were high before COVID and actually increased with COVID? And that was deliveries, that was healthcare. We really understood that we need an improved and adequate healthcare system in this case.
That's something we'll talk about a bit later on, hopefully. But yeah, 100%. I agree with what you're saying there. Look at which sectors really need help. You know, the healthcare industry. You know, sort of the NHS and care workers really needed a lot of help, and will hopefully be rewarded. But I doubt the government will do that. But yeah, you know, couriers and things like that. I think they're here to stay. Yeah, online. I think online shopping is here to stay. I think a lot more people have moved towards it, especially older people who would have been a bit more reluctant to do that. So
that is one. Sorry, just to interrupt. And second, also is drivers. You know, we say low skilled, but you can't fully make your country high skilled employment, because basic people you need is to go to a shop and know that there is someone that can help you, or if you get into a bus, you want to know that someone can drive that bus.
Yeah, the robots haven't taken over yet. You still need people, and you know, I think kind of the framing of, you know, low skilled versus high skilled. You know, I think that it's a bit of a poor phrasing. Like, I'm not blaming you for that. That's the terminology, but you know, to call certain industries low skilled when we were desperately in need of them. You know, when during the pandemic, you know, it was key workers, mainly people that work in shops. You know, outside of, you know, just the NHS workers and things like that. You know, those are the people that kept the country going. Taxi drivers, all of these sorts of people who were looked down upon a bit before the pandemic. You know, we realised how important these sorts of people were during it, if that makes sense. And you know, hopefully,
still are.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't go back to kind of saying, oh, you know, just the guy who stacks shelves, or you know, or just works at a till. You know, we understand how important these people are to the economy, because they do keep things ticking along.
Yes, we call them the front workers now.
Yeah, frontline workers. Yeah. So, kind of to sum up, what would you say to, you know, kickstart the economy? What kind of things would you do
to kickstart the economy? To be honest, like we had last year, the Eat Out to help out. Yeah. For a short period of time, definitely will help the small businesses, especially the hospitality sector.
The thing is with that one, I think a lot of people said that didn't really do that much, and the businesses would rather just would rather have just been given the money. Obviously, they would say that, but at the same time, it did cause a lot of problems as well with people in this country, sort of acting like savages, which is no surprise. Certain people, anyways. Yeah.
But if you have this, it means that the government will pay the rest. So 50% you pay as a customer, and the rest, the other amount of 50% would be covered by government for the business.
So yeah, I think something like that would help. I think
yes, in this case, but not for a long time. You know, just to make people go out. That would be one of the first steps.
Yeah, you know. Sorry, retail was saying the same thing. They're saying we want a shop out to help out, and I was like, that's a bit embarrassing. The phrasing.
You know, if you want to shop out, it's just make it available online. Because
but they want people to go to their, you know, the physical retail buildings rather than just buying it online, because you know, shops still are kind of desperate to cling on to, you know, like clothing shops and you know, things that are not, you know, food based are desperate to cling on to bricks and mortar. You know, kind of hard shops rather than moving online, which I suppose.
I do understand that.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why they want that scheme. Similar to how, if you ordered delivery, you wouldn't have got a discount, but if you went to the actual restaurant, you would have got a discount, like that. So I think, yeah, like you're saying, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe for all the industry that, retail, that would be, but for a short time, just to make sure to encourage people to go and spend. And of course, retraining the staff, people that lost their jobs to be retrained in some sort of other industries, healthcare, where people are needed.
That's something we'll talk about in a few minutes because, or we can talk about it now actually, because I know that unemployment is low. Well, it's not super high right now. It's at 5%. However, that's mainly because I think due to the furlough scheme, I think once that ends, it will go a lot higher. And the government have offered certain schemes for people who want to go to college. If I can find it. So Boris Johnson said, he wanted people to up their skills. He said, as the Chancellor said, we cannot, alas, save every job. What we can do is give people the skills to find and create new and better jobs. So my message today is at every stage of your life, this government will help you get the skills you need. We're transforming the foundation of skills, and it's basically the idea that you can go back to college and, take a free college course free college courses that are valued by employers. In order to get the skills you need to, maybe go get a different job, move into a sector that, because retail is dying a very slow and painful death, but I think in certain places it will die a lot quicker, such as in Northampton. I think Northampton, the retail is dead. There's not a lot of people in the town centre, especially now. And there's not a lot of reasons to go into the town centre. So I think Northampton will be one of the first major casualties of kind of the death of retail.
Of big retail. To be honest, what people are looking mostly in this case is small shops, something a bit more authentic. Because, as you mentioned, there is no reason to go, to be honest, to Northampton Town Centre. I am not attracted by it. It's not the prettiest.
It's dead. It's dead.
And I do enjoy the area where I live, to be honest, because I do have shops close to the house. I do have a park, and it's a bit more clean as well.
Sounds like a middle class area living in Georgia.
How to say? It's in the west.
Georgia lives well.
Definitely high luxury.
So yeah, I think we'll stick a fork in this question.